Hello, it's Karen here in the kitchen. I decided today I wanted to do something that I've grown up with. I was brought up in a small mining town in West Yorkshire called Featherstone, and it's not far from where I live now, but this dish that I'm doing today, it's quite a significant one for the people in Featherstone and all over the place really, but you know, people talk about corned beef hash, but I know there are loads and loads of different varieties and versions of how to make a corned beef hash, and I've never been that successful in the past when I've made my own, because all I've done before is just put everything, all the ingredients in a big pot of boiling water, and that's it really, and it were alright. But I asked my cousin Chris Westwood, who obviously was brought up in Featherstone as well, if he could give me his recipe, and he did. He sent it to me this morning. So these are the ingredients. He basically said it's obviously potatoes and onions, lots of onions, potatoes, and any other veg that you might have in the bottom of your fridge. And all I had today that I could think would go, well, I've got a couple of stalks of celery and some rather shriveled up looking carrots, like 4 carrots. So it's one of those mix and match. So that's what I'm doing. And he said basically this is all he does. He boils up the potatoes and the other veg until they're on the point of collapse. He sweats the onions down in a frying pan, I guess. And then he combines all the lot together, adds as much corned beef as you want. I have only got 1 tin, so that's all we can have. So chop that up into it, and add as much beef stock, I guess, as you want for the consistency you want. So and then he said to use some Worcestershire sauce or some Henderson's relish, of which I have got neither in the house at the moment. But I do have some good old brown sauce, so I'm going to be using that. And then salt and pepper. So it's basically, for this dish, this is what I have. I'm not going to... it might be controversial. I'm hoping it is in a way, because I'd like some feedback from people as to what they think of the way that we've cooked this, because we finish it in the oven. So we finish and get a crust on it. So that's what I'm going to do. I've not done it this way before, so it's going to be a surprise to me to see how it works out, which is great. So I'm going to turn this off now. I'm going to go and peel these veg up, and then I'll come back and we'll take it from there. So stand by your beds. Bye. Right, welcome back. So we're on corned beef hash, okay? I've prepared all the ingredients now. First thing to do is so this are the potatoes. There was probably about 6 big-ish potatoes. I've diced them up, and I've got some salted water ready. So they're going in there, dead easy. In they go. So that's the potatoes launched. And like I said, we've got other vegetables. In this case, I had a couple of sticks of celery lurking in the bottom of my fridge, and about 4 smallish carrots, and I've just diced them up really small, quite small, because I want the potatoes to cook down to like quite mushy, and also the other veg. So now I'm just going to put those over on my hob, my real hob, and cook them off for as long as it takes. So there we go. That's those on there. So that's it. Now then, what have we got left? Well, we've got the onions, and according to my cousin Chris Westwood, he said to sweat these onions off, and that's the plan. So I've got my little hobby here. So one thing I didn't mention, obviously, just to sweat the onions down, you need some sort of oil, fat. Traditionally, I bet they use dripping or lard, neither of which is commonly found in my kitchen these days. But I've got some vegetable oil, and I'm just going to put a couple of tablespoons of that in my frying pan, and then these are the onions. So I think there was about 6 medium onions. It's a lot of onions. There should be a lot of hash here. And Chris said there'll be enough to feed the neighbours, but unfortunately because we're all isolated that's not possible. But it can be used in pasties and pies, and I should imagine it'd be delicious. What about a sausage roll if it was really mushy? So that's the onions, so they're going in there to start their sweating. We don't mean sweating as in sweating foreheads. We just mean that, that's still working, just means that they start to cook down till they're quite translucent. We don't want really any burnt bits. In my book, anything that's burnt is not good for you. So we're just going to do that. I'll get a broiling stick and just let those do their thing like that. I've got the corned beef, so I'll show you 1 tin of corned beef. I've already hashed it up. That's cooked, so of course we don't need to do anything with that bar mix it in with the other ingredients. This lot's going in the oven. So the plan is, we're sweating these down. Yeah. We're sweating the onions down. We're boiling the vegetables on the hob over there until they're soft and mushy. Not mushy as in mash. We don't want mashed potato. We do want some texture left. Then we're going to combine the whole lot. Got some beef stock. You use, apparently according to Chris, you use whatever you think for your consistency. So when we get to that point, we'll decide between us. And then I'll have some seasoning, salt and pepper, nothing fancy, no herbs, no spices. He specifically said, Chris, no garlic. And he loves garlic, but it's not for this dish. And I've got some brown sauce. And then what we'll do is, when it's all mushed together, we put it in a hot oven. And it cooks in there, bakes then, you see, it bakes. And then you pull it out halfway through, it should have a bit of a crispy surface by that time. Give it another stir, put it back in until it's lovely and crispy on the top. Get it out. Jobs are good. So I don't need to keep you guys here any longer because that's it. I've explained the method. What will happen next is the video will continue when I'm going to put all the things together into whatever. I'm going to go and look for a suitable vessel for this King of Kings. I mean, it's just fantastic. It's simple. If you can get hold of corned beef, which I got hold of some yesterday during our shortages and our stay home, stay safe. It's been difficult to get some, even the most basic ingredients, but I got this lot just yesterday, so things are getting better. So guys, go and get a cooker on, do what you need to do, come back and we'll finish the corned beef hash. Bye for now. Right. Welcome back. Assembly time. The vegetables are cooked, Chris. I hope that's the right consistency. I'm going to pop them back into there, the pan that I cooked them off in. So they're in there okay. Then this is my sweated onions. So a few of them have just started to turn. That's good though, because this will be the point where they gave off their natural sweetness in the onions. So I'm happy with that. So according to the recipe, they go in there with the other veg, like so. And then we give them a mix. Salt and pepper wise, it's obviously to taste. Remembering corned beef I think is quite salty naturally. So I am going to salt them at this point a bit, but obviously when you've got them on your plates, you can add more. I say it every single time, but you can't take salt and pepper out once you've had it. I don't think you can go far wrong with the pepper. So that's that. Then the corned beef goes in. Okay, so that's going into the mixture. Fab. Swap my spoon. So I'm just going to stir this lot through a bit. It's got that telltale smell. Corned beef hash. Here we come. Now this is the part where Chris, my cousin, said add the stock to the consistency that you want your finished dish to be. Obviously when it's baked it will dry out a bit, which is the point of baking it. So I'm going to put in a little bit. started off with about 400 millilitres. So I'm just going to stir some through. I can take a bit more. That's a beef stock cube. That's all I did with that. I'm going to give it... Ooh! I think that's about done. Going to stir that around in there. Oh wow. Yeah. Yep. Now then, dish-wise, I rooted about in my cupboard and found this because I thought it looked nice and earthy. Because this is a very sort of robust, simple fare. So I'm thinking it will fit in there nice, but obviously any oven-proof dish that you've got hanging about. I've never baked this before, and this is why I'm expecting some feedback on how people like to do their corned beef hash. We could have a corned beef hash off. Hashtag corned beef hash off. I like that. So that's just lovely. And now I'm going to, yay, see, I'm going to pop it into my preheated oven that Christopher Westwood said about 200, that is quite hot. So, and it's cooked now, remember, all we want for it to do is to get a crust. Halfway through, to my measure of time, I'm going to give it a stir, so any crust that's formed will go through into the hash and then back into the oven for its last burst to give it a final crusting. So, there we go. That, my friends, is that. So, we've just got to wait. I don't know, I'm guessing 20 minutes to half an hour. It's one of those things that won't hurt, I don't think. I'll be keeping my eyes peeled, having a look how it's getting on, and I'll be back with the finished corned beef hash ASAP. Bye for now. Right, I'm back. The corned beef hash is done. I think it's been probably about, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes. And I even tweaked the heat up a bit more because I know that my cousin Chris, wanted to have some crispy bits on the top, and I've got there in the end. And yeah, I'm going to get it out, so it's exciting. Did it work? I've got my sooty and sweeps on, and stand back, let the heat out. I'm always getting my glasses on and then I can't see because the steam gets straight onto them. Right, let's have a look at you, my gorgeousness. Got this big board here just to take the strain a little bit, and then I'll show you. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm sure, Chris, have a gander. Is that what you expected? Have I done it right? Have I? Hope so. Right. You'd probably leave this to set for 10 minutes before dishing it up in ordinary real life. But because it's not real life and I'm videoing it, I thought you might want me to put a portion out. Not that I'm peckish or anything. So, just have a little look at this. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Absolutely cracking. Chris Westwood, thank you. That is corned beef hash a la Chris Westwood from Featherstone. Thank you. Please try this at home. It couldn't be cheaper. This would feed your family for, well, depending on how big your family is, but for a long time. So yeah, there we go. Success on a plate. Enjoy. Stay safe. Stay home.